Okay, Mr. Davidoff, thank you for your patience. It is time. So I had, as you know, right before you bought this, I went through and I did the case and the crystal and everything. So that part has all been done. So we're just going to be now, I'm going to be servicing the movement. That is today's job. So let us start. I previously loosened that up. Don't you worry about a thing. The movement's in nice shape. Beautiful. 6139A, 21 jewel. The red text. That's what I'm talking about. I had to clean this case actually. Okay. Grizzled. Interesting. Get rid of that. It's one of the extra jewels that the 21 jewels get, is that their winding bridge is jeweled right here, which is not in 17 jewel versions. That's one of them. Another one is on the lower end of the minute counter wheel pinion. That one's jeweled in the center wheel cock. And it's also got fixed settings. I need to sharpen these tweezers. I'm sure there are people who are like, why do you do it like that, taking the balance out like this? In large part, it's habit. I like having the movement really, really stable whenever I'm messing with the balance. And it's old habit. I'm sure it's the wrong way to do it, but it's the way that I do it. I've done it for a long time, and so far I have not run into a situation that requires me to switch up. But maybe I don't know what I'm missing. It's just the way that I do it. Doesn't mean it's right. gaskets. That's a pretty dial. That's nice. Hang on. It's really nice. It's pretty. I'll clean that dial up a little. Drops dead zero. Exactly what we want to see. Nice and light. Crisp reset. Excellent. Sorry, I've got a song stuck in my head and I keep humming it. I'm trying not to. I apologize. In case you're curious about what the song it is Scarlet Begonias by the Grateful Dead. But I really will try to stop humming. Bad habit. These are nice hands. That's a nice hand set. Yeah, Static loves to stick to this cling wrap. Got to be careful with these little hands. I'll remember for the rest of my life. I lost a 6139 gold dialed Pogue hand, teardrop hand. Lost it in what is now Sebastian's room, and I never found it. I never did. I kept hoping. Okay, got that. Let us now pull this dial. And there's your movement. There's your dial. Dial is dated. It's an early dial, September 69. Wow. Okay, let's put this over here where it goes. We'll see. I think it's just dried lubrication. I don't think it's a wear channel. But we'll clean it and find out. Okay, now it's time for our patented Seiko approved directed test for the pinned intermediate date driving wheel that these came with. Okay, you're supposed to be able to turn it with a paintbrush. We get a little bit of an angle. It moves, and that's a good sign. It's supposed to be, I think, a little lighter than that, but this needs to be cleaned. You don't ever lubricate these because there's too much surface area, and there's no lubricant that at these scales doesn't act like braking grease, and you start getting all kinds of issues with the watch not kicking over. This is in nice condition. This bridge is in really nice shape. Whoever this watch was, the chronograph was not used very often. There's almost no deformation of the hole in that bushing right there. It's nice looking. That's a nice looking bridge. Normally, if somebody's really been using it a lot, that stuff will deform because it's, you know, you hit it enough times. Funny, I've been doing so many 6105s recently. I haven't done a 6130X for a while. Kind of a little funky. Come on, there we go. Where'd you go? There you are. I'll be putting in a jewel right there. So this is the upper mainspring rebushing, and that's going to become a jewel. Over-oiled. All kinds of extra oil all around here. Okay. Somebody had fun with that. There's that jewel for the pinion for the minute counter wheel. You can see that right there. Okay, so that's going to need hand cleaning. There is the chronograph wheel. Heart of the movement. And the wheel, oops, wheel is good. Oil, more oil. And I will be taking that out there, reaming that out, and dropping a jewel in there for your lower mainspring arbor port. And that's going to be cool. Let us take your mainspring part. Nice and tight. That didn't want to come out. That's great. Means it hasn't been taken apart an awful lot. Come out. Yeah, not a lot of wear. Really, really, really not a lot of wear. Well, it must have been serviced at least once because there's no S2 in this mainspring. I'll look very carefully in case back and see what I can see. Let's get this out of here. There's the mainspring. I'm gonna have to tune it a little bit. Not bad. Get that hand cleaned, reassembled. Looks good otherwise, I think. This goes over in the hand cleaning pile. Hand cleaning pile. Hand cleaning pile. There. Okay, I got to prep for dropping in the lower mainspring arbor port. Okay. Look at that. You get yourself a metal intermediate date driving wheel. Seiko did away with these pretty early on because they're a lot easier to make. It was just a simple plastic one-piece thing. This is actually two stamped out pieces of metal that are then stick together. A lot easier just to make it out of plastic. Same reason they went with the plastic date finger here instead of a metal setup like the 6105. Even though they came out at the same time. Well, more or less at the same time. 6105 predated it, as everybody knows. There is your lower mainspring arbor jewel. Okay, let me get all right jewel. Come on. Get those dowel screws in place. Nothing more fun. You go through the ultrasonic and you're like, where are my dial screws? Oh, center wheel. Looks, I already lost one. All right, awesome. Well, there's your main plate. That is all stripped down to nothing. Now I've got two. Let's put this balance back on here. There, you can see your lower mainspring arbor jewel right there. I haven't done the upper mainspring arbor bushing yet, but I will. Just I had to get this done first. Dorcas, Molurcus. Get in there, magnetized screw. Okay, main plate is done. Now I've got to still have to hand clean the bridge and put that jewel in and stuff, and hand clean the mainspring barrel. And okay, I'm gonna come back. Hello, Mr. Davidoff. I'm putting together your calendar. I thought you might like to see. There is your lower mainspring arbor jewel in place. All nice. Everything's going together now. I'm just putting the putting this thing in. The date dial guard is going to go right there, and then that'll be the basic assembly for the calendar side. And then I'm going to flip it over and put the train together, and then we'll see what the numbers are looking like. And since we're on the subject of mainspring arbor jewels, there is your upper mainspring arbor jewel in place of the bushing. Here's the old bushing, and you'll get that back. But there's the jewel. There it is. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, coming together. Okay, drop the balance. Let's see what happened. Yes. Great. It's been running for all of a minute, minute and a half. Let's deal with the almost non-existent beat error. Let's actually get that rate down. Then we'll deal with the beat error. Okay, it's going down a little bit now. I'm going to hit the beat error, try to pull it up a little. That was chronograph stop. Now I've got it chronograph running. Well, it's the steadiest amplitude I've seen in a long time, but I want higher numbers. This is crazy. Is it not hearing sometimes you'll see amplitude this steady when the machine is not hearing correctly. Okay, so I just isolated it by deadening it with my fingertips, and we get a 10-point jump. Or maybe it's just got very steady amplitude. Gotta remind myself this thing's been only running for a few minutes. It's smoothing out. Come on, let's hit the 230s maybe. Yeah, baby. Yeah, it's settling down. Original mainspring too. So what happens with these, when you do a rebuild, is you're going to see the amplitude ideally go faster, and then it'll slow down fast, or not faster, it'll go higher, and then slow down, and then a little higher, and then higher, and wee, like so. But we're getting the signals cleaning up, and we're getting great accuracy, dial up and dial down, and the amplitude is staying steady, dial up and dial down. I want to see the next peak. Well, you can't say it doesn't have steady amplitude. Okay. There it is. There that is. I've got to go through power reserve testing and all that stuff, but I'm pretty confident of the outcome. Okay. And there it is in all of its glory. It's a nice watch. I'm really happy with these crystals, these new crystals, these type 1s that I had made. I'm extremely pleased that I made those. They give such a nice look, because the type 2s they're double domed, and so they sort of magnify a little bit, which is cool for what it is. The early ones, they had this sort of flatness, the A movements, the cases were lower, and they had this lower top, thinner type 1 crystal, which was designed to replicate the early chrome ring crystals, except in one piece of glass instead of being a two-piece construction. And that's what this is. It's a super nice watch. I'm so glad that you've picked it up. I look forward to getting it on your wrist, and I hope that you enjoy it and all of that other fun stuff. And that's about that. There you go. There's your Seiko twofer. Okay. Yeah, it's really cool. It was really nice inside. Oh, by the way, I put in the lower mainspring arbor jewel I put in this is one of my beefier ones. The ones that I use normally are they're a 1-to-1 reproduction of what Seiko used in the 6159s. Ironically, one of these. But I have them and they're a little more heavy duty, and I put in a heavy duty one here. I thought it would be a nice thing to do. Functionally, it's no different. It's just a little more burly. Yep, cool. Forgot to check that. Let me just let this come around. Now, I think you know this. I'll give you my usual speech. I've set the reset on this light, okay? Because we don't want a ton of power going into the reset. It's how these were designed. The amount of pressure you put in can go right into the watch. So I set a light reset. When you're running the chronograph, you can stop it whenever you want, but when you want to reset it, wait until it's right up here, and then reset. And it just saves a lot of pressure and pain on the chronograph wheel and all that other stuff. I don't really have any other last thoughts. I'm just sitting here admiring it. It's a beautiful watch. Okay, I got to get on with it. I got to put this on the power reserve testing on the cyclotron, but for all intents and purposes, it is done. Thank you so much for picking this up. It's a great watch. I'm so glad it's with you, and I look forward to getting it to you. Thank you so much.